What's going on, guys? This is your boy Trav Moody here for yet another ranking and review. This time we get the Marvel Legends Retro Iron Man, the entire series review and ranking. And there might be some confusion about this line. I believe it began as an animated series line with both the fan channel War Machine you see in front of me and the PulseCon exclusive Pulse Cannon, Plasma Cannon, Proton Cannon, Iron Man on the left, both from the animated series, clearly. But then the rest of the line, introduced at WonderCon back in the spring, is more of a combination of comics and animation, or maybe just comics. So we'll dive into that. It's a very interesting line, mixing different media for our dude Tony Stark. And then the packaging, it's only Iron Man for every figure. As you can see, even Count Nefaria doesn't have his own image. It's Iron Man, except for Rhodes, War Machine in the middle is a variant of Iron Man, of course. So he has his own packaging. Very interesting. And then on the back, you've got your Toy Biz inspired art, and I'll have those in the background of every single review that we do so we could dissect that. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, have yourself a nice beverage, as Tony Stark would do when he gets all depressed. We'll have fun with that. But in the meantime, let's get right into it. All right, we're kicking off our Retro Iron Man ranking at number 8. It is Iron Man himself, Model 20. It's the modern Toy Biz era Iron Man before Extremis. And this guy's repulsors were modified for crowd control, so that's why we're getting all those blast effects. We'll talk about those. As well as underwater and inner space usage. With improved sonic weapons, his firing repulsors and unibeams simultaneously produce a block-busting effect. Model 20 also featured a deflector and magnetic pulse for defense. Here's the cool thing. For security purposes, Model 20 armor was encoded to Stark's artificial heart. Where's Pepper when you need her? The reason he's number 8 is how many damn Iron Mans have we gotten similar to this, right? Minus those back fins. That's new. That's part of the deal there. One of the nice upgrades is we're getting... Well, that's exactly why he's number 8. Yup. Yeah, this will sound funny, but I've got to say it. He's got a loose peg hole in his left hand. And now, of course, I'm on camera, but no, it is still pretty loose. I even touch it, it just wants to come off. And this gauntlet, it's pretty cool that it comes off. I'll tell you that. Pretty innovative, but it wants to slide off. And if you notice this, looks like there's something that broke off or something. Let's investigate the other side. There's something weird about that, right? Like some kind of chip paint. There, you see it there? Yeah, and so the repulsor hand does this, but when you pull back on it, it wants to pop out because it's got this guard on the repulsor glove. So it articulates the wrong way, in my opinion. Why would you want to articulate this way? See how the hand only articulates this way? It should go back, in my opinion. But as I was saying, it does have the butterfly joints, which on an Iron Man build is tremendous, especially a Marvel Legends. And so you've got these shoulder pads, and they pop out too. And so they don't hinder the articulation or anything like that, but they're going to be tough to get back in. See how I popped that out? Now, I purposely popped it out, but if you popped it out, good luck getting it back in. See that? Yeah, this is a struggle here. So it's the functionality on this guy. Shout out to a Toy Kind of Mood. They had my guy Jason X on, and he was talking about the pins, but I'm okay with pins on the robot because you got no pin on the upper double joint there, and that's some pretty good range coming in. So you get a little bit of a boot rocker up and down, and you got these guards here on the bell bottom. So that's pretty cool right there. So it's a really sleek looking Iron Man. It's nice, but I guess it's just the articulation's weird. Why would you articulate the hand down, you know? And it does a whole 360 swivel. And you get this upper chest piece and it doesn't really prevent too much of it. It has a little bit of a crunch. Now it's got this really nice neck articulation. See that web there? That's really amazing. I'm deep Marvel Legends critics. You know, I'm talking to you, MCU collector, Unparalleled Universe. You guys are gonna love this figure in hand. You know, he tilts back all the way up. He tilts all the way down. I mean, this articulation is some of the best for a 112 scale figure for $24.99. I'm talking about on this neck here. It's really terrific. So actually, as I was trying to get him in the classic Iron Man pose, you know, the one they keep doing in the movie over and over, I popped out the leg. Thankfully, it pops back in, but you could see the joint there. And I'm doing my damnedest. If I get it there, I can kind of get it. You know, it's supposed to face this way. See how it wants to pop out, but you get these like circles on the waist there that kind of inhibit that. But yeah, I mean, if you mess around with it, you pros, man, I'm not. I'm far from the best poser or anything, but I am trying to do a little something. Oh, look at that. It don't look too bad, does it? That actually doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of getting close. I'm sure if I mess around with it enough, but this just give you an idea of the articulation. So here's another pose attempting to show those fists articulating the other way, and this could work there. We spin the wrists here and go like that, and that way you get kind of a curved angle like he's ready to flight. So one thing I noticed while articulating is that so that this head becomes really loose, but it doesn't completely move over. I still have to touch it, and then this shoulder pad definitely pegged right off. So again, it still has great articulation with the shoulder, but these are going to pop off bad when you do some articulated poses. Another pose with Tony up in the sky, and you see how the repulsor hand, you have to have them go vertical with it because it'll only shoot down, which makes no sense. So you got to open palm it like that. It won't articulate back. So in a stance like this, it works out pretty well. You got the 4 blast effects, which are really a nice touch, or really nice effects. Probably standard, but I dig them. They're a very sharp blue. Also just a nice use of that boot rocker that we have there. And then this upper chest torso being able to kind of tilt it side to side to give you that flexibility. So I don't normally do this stuff, but this guy's really fun when it comes to the posability and playability. I was going to go a little lower, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be real nice. This is an incredible wave if this is the 8th figure. And I'm going to go 3.5-3.75. All right, now at number 7, we have Iron Man 01, the gold armor version. That's right. Speaking of 01, it was on the Avengers 01 comic cover. And man, this is a good one. Can't believe it's only 7. Some people are going to have a major problem with this. Let's dive in. Look into my eyes. You see. Look at that. It is not even a repaint. You've got the skirt, the gold PVC skirt there, really flexy type plastic there. Upper torso looks to be the same, but then you got these boopity beep buttons. Ones on the gold armor look a lot bigger, but that could just be the paint shading around on the buttons. But as you can see, the belt is completely different. You've got blue paint inside the unibeam. The mask is the same, but you got silver paint inside that one. And of course, we saw Bryan Adams' rendition on the left. Antenna is the same. Gauntlets, fists are the same. And everything else is the same. But great job at making this. Even the back of the belt is different too. But which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. This gunmetal gray is pretty freaking dope. It pops like hell. But this gold one's fun. I love gold! And you got Charles Bronson Stark over here. But is it Burt Reynolds? Let me... Which one do you think this Iron Man? This is cool. Just giving us a sculpt. Like I said, if Model 20 had a sculpt, that could have been in this spot or much higher. But yeah, giving us a sculpt. The only reason he's so low with this additional sculpt. Is the guy laughing at us back here? Armor number 2. You got armor 1 and armor 2. It's a repaint of the same sculpt. So I don't hate that. Really captured the comic hair. You know, like the Darth Vader comic character had the blue tint. In a similar way, they did this. Doesn't he look so much thinner? On the right, it's literally the same sculpt, but the face looks thinner just because of the placement on the armor. Oh, we got baby blues. We got baby blues. It looks to be nearly the same. It's a little more comic booky on the right, but those eyes are really piercing on the left, aren't they? So it's an improved sculpt for sure. Well, that just gave me another idea. Now we got 2 Burt Bronsons for the price of 1. You got battle worn damage all over, nice cracks and crinks in there, even on the gauntlet, some scratching on the gauntlet, but not much on the back. I guess when you pose, you're not going to see a whole lot of crinkles on the back. They didn't bother. It would have been a waste of paint app money, but as you can see here, there's none of that. But it does look like tin or oil. There is some like detailed smudging, that extra added paint. Got some really nice detail on the shoulder rings too. You got your double pinless elbows, so a lot of flexibility for a big guy. Pretty much got the butterfly joints there, which is crazy. Pinless legs. Oh, they are a double knee. Look at that range. You got a waist swivel there, but you're not playing with this guy too much for articulation. As far as effects, the smoke effect is exactly the same. And then for the blast effects, you get a deeper, darker orange on the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then on a golden armor, you got the nice yellow. Some quick poses showcasing both Iron Man 1s. Just another pose. 3.75 out of 5 whiskeys. All right, number 6, it's War Machine, James Rhodey Rhodes from the animated series. This one is terrific because it's got different packaging, but essentially it is a repaint and a trimmed down re-release. So we'll get into that. But in the meantime, number 6, War Machine. Taking a look at War Machine right here. Now, while I didn't have the deluxe version, this is a much lighter shade of gray than that silvery metallic one they got in the deluxe. And I wish I got that deluxe because it was so cheap at Best Buy. At one point. The good old days, of course. This is much lighter on accessories. We'll dive into that. But for now, a blue unibeam, which is a really nice touch. And it's got like the little spotlights in there instead of just the silver painted unibeam that the other one has. But the faceplate is painted white. It's nearly white compared to the rest of the body. But, I mean, if you throw it back here, you're not going to tell. If you go close, you might have some issues with that, right? Overall, it's a really nice looking figure. I think the blues, the sky blues there definitely help make it pop. Now, Rhodey's eyes might be missing sky blue tint, as you can see on the package. Then again, rendered art. Package art is never 100% accurate. Pins on the knees, they're not so bad because he's wearing a giant robot suit at the end of the day, so I don't have any issues. Usually pins with Iron Man is fine, but you do have pinless double elbow, so that's nice. And you got a butterfly joint, so that's also nice there. Again, I didn't have the other ones. You get nab crunch. Of course, you got your reactor glove hand right here, and it tends to pop out frequently. I almost want to just leave it this way, because when I go like this, it wants to pop out when I swivel it. Then you got your cannon arm right there. It's got some nice detail. You get your extra set of hands. Actually, this doesn't have a swivel on it at all. It's just a peg, and it just points out in repulsor mode. So that's why it was popping out. There's no articulation on the peg there. Your other fisty. Maybe the best accessory we have is this giant, cool looking big blast effect. It's got the smoke detail on the bottom. Really nice. Now, the biggest issue here is when you get this orangey yellow, you've got these orange missiles, these mini missiles that plug right in. They do a fairly good job. I'm sure they'll fall around here and there, but they're not too bad. I just wish they were a different color because they don't really pop. But maybe the low-key coolest thing about this War Machine is the blue paint that just simply pops out of the barrels of these cannons. So it's really dope. Then you could plug in this blast effect here. And then the other blast effect you could pop here. So overall, he's pretty loaded. He's pretty dope. He lives up to the name War Machine. The blues pop really out of there. And he's a slick looking figure. And I think the white could have been a little darker shade of gray, especially on the mask. But other than that, he's pretty damn sweet. I'm going to go 3.75 out of 5. Number 6 for War Machine. All right, coming in at number 5, it's Iron Man Model 09, Model 9. It's the Neo Classic Armor from 1988. He fought firepower at the conclusion of the Armor Wars. Got those Neo Classic big bell bottom boots. We'll dig into that. But he had upgraded supersonic speed from the Silver Centurion armor. And this one has better durability and temperature resistance. It's a damn good suit, so let's unlayer it. What separates Iron Man 9 from the competition, at least some of the competition, is the fact he's got an all-new torso. This is brand new. We've not had it yet. He has big-ass bell-bottom boots. These are just amazing. Now, they do have pins on the legs, despite being a big robot, is that these are straight-up legs. Like on the modern Iron Man suits, it hides it well. As far as the torso, we got nice ab crunch there. Goes all the way back. Now, it does not have butterfly joints, but the shoulder pad does pop off, so you can get nice extension there. And again, you get the double pinless elbow, so that really works out nice, and they do flex despite these heavy round gauntlets. Got 360 swivel. Got a lot of extension here on the legs. So his articulation doesn't remind me of Iron Man. It reminds me of Mega Man, the Jaded Toys Mega Man. And this is probably what threw Ryan Ting off when he was interviewed about these on the floor at Comic-Con. It's because it looks like Mega Man. Because remember, we already got the Pulse Cannon Iron Man in this set. We'll talk about him later. He was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Is this guy in other iterations of Marvel vs. Capcom? I mean, he might be. I know the War Machine we got is from Marvel vs. Capcom, the original. But yeah, these legs, I mean, these are Mega Man all the way. And unlike this Mega Man, that's not really a wrist swivel. Yeah, the forearm don't swivel at all. So kind of a blown opportunity there without the joint. But you do have wrist hinges, which is nice. And the bell-bottom boot does go 360. So in addition to the two fisties, we have two repulsor blast hands that do not articulate like the others, but with the older suit model, I do not mind. And then we have two sets of blast effects. This you've seen before. It's a real nice one. And it's a really great translucent blue. But we get these all new sparkling, crackling smoke effects, which is really sick. And there's a look at how the repulsors look with the crackling smoke. Some nice articulation. He's not as articulated as 20, especially around the head sculpt, but you can still get a lot of range of motion. 360 around, go down. He doesn't go as up as 20. And he can't tilt to the sideways. It's not as 360, but it's still pretty strong for an older model version. Just a couple more poses to go. And this is probably my favorite pose of the bunch because those smoke effects, those crackling new effects below these bell-bottom boots. Once you start doing this is what makes it so strong. Iron Man 9 could very well be much higher than 5, but I'm going to go 4 out of 5 for Iron Man 9. So I know you guys are all Iron Men out. So number 4 is Count Nefaria. We're on to the villains, the criminal mastermind and genius level inventor. Get ionic energy physiology, a Power Man whirlwind living laser that grants him superhuman strength, speed, agility, endurance, senses, stamina, and reflexes. Yeah, he's a badass Superman. Ionic energy manipulation, energy enhanced strike, ionic conversation, healing factor, invulnerability, teleportation, immortality, and flight. Sheesh. One thing's absolutely for sure, they crush this face sculpt in hand, in person, on video, right here, up close. It's terrific. But there does look to be a little bit of a paint smudge problem there on the cheek. And that's why I can't go any higher when he's got black knee all over his face. What's going on there? What'd you do there, Marvel? What's happening? What's up with the factory? Look at that. Unless it's supposed to be scarring. Is your figure like that? I mean, what a terrific sculpt, too. That's a shame. So look at the side there, the wings, the tip. What an awesome sculpt. But this is what this guy is. I mean, he's sculpt. Of course, you got butterfly joints. And then you want to talk about paint. Just the paint. This is probably the worst painted figure other than maybe War Machine. If you have an issue with the white mask. Because you want to talk white, you got the white and you get the white blue. You got a lot of smudging on this butterfly joint. There you go. So double, it's too bad you got double pinless elbows, butterfly joints on this guy. He's going to pretty much be able to do anything you want. He can look up, tilt all the way down. Look at that. That neck crank is amazing. Look at the flexibility. Like, you know, in flight, he's got all those powers I just explained to you. And he's going to be able to do it with the neck crank. So, yeah, it's just the use of the paint inside is a little weak at the rope. There, it's got a lighter plastic and looks to have some of the same paint issues on the shoulder. It's just a different color. The whites on the gloves do match the back. And his butt. Got double pinless knee. So while not all the Iron Men had that deal, Nefaria's got it. So, yep. Look at this. He's able to just grab his own feet and do just psionic yoga. He's just on the Vulcan buck and he can do it all. In addition, Nefaria's got a molded on belt. And these look to be all new boots. And they swivel as well. All right, all new cape. It's pretty plain. It's plastic. You know, you're going to have this plastic versus soft goods people. It's always going to be a thing. Of course, there's always good rigid detail in Marvel's capes. But the plastic cape, you know, we've gotten soft goods before with Doctor Doom. So you plug that in. Let's see how this goes. These pegs can be a pain sometimes. So we'll see how it doesn't go in all the way. And I'm pushing, guys. I'm pushing all the way in. And I don't think that little string has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's just going to pop out. What we got here? Oh, man, that's too bad. Oh, he does look great with the cape, though. And it does shift to one side. It's got some movement already on it. So that's nice. Let's shake it around. All right, now I'm shaking it real hard, and it's staying in. So you shouldn't have too many issues. And this guy is so good and so fun to pose around. Of course, he's got optional hands, more like those flying type hands. But man, he's dope. As far as posability between him and Iron Man 20, it's going to be tough. But this guy might take the cake. And you know, we had to hit him with the Homelander pose. He's so dope, man. I'm going to go 4.25 whiskeys. He's just a little light on accessories, maybe some effects, something like that. And some of the paint issues on the butterfly joints were really horrendous. But perfect sculpt, perfect buck. Flex is great. He's a much wanted character in the line. He's going to be number one on a lot of people's lists, if not number two. Another most wanted character from Iron Man lore, it's Marvel's Whiplash from the comics, and we finally got him, and we're not talking about that wrestler Iron Man 2 guy. But yeah, this guy just pops. So let's dig into him. And let me just tell you guys, maybe the greatest thing about popping these open is that they don't have the character on the card back. So you don't need it. You don't need them carded. You only need maybe one carded. Or you could just keep one nice card. You could rip these open. Do you see Whiplash there? I don't. I'm starting off with Whiplash, and man, that is an incredible, an absolutely stunning sculpt. You only see half of it, right? It's his jawline, but man, it looks real good. What a cool looking mask. I mean, even without the classic tail, and I know the boys were talking about Whiplash on a Toy Kind of Mood last night. But yes, this is an articulated Ponytail, for sure. It's the key with Whiplash. I know Nefaria is probably a better figure, right, to play with and mess around with overall, but I'm a sucker for looks. I'm a superficial bastard. I like cosmetic stuff. This one's just more fun as far as like accessories, right? Even with the punchies, he's got his merce. I mean, come on, the man is a merce. He's got nice gold paint on the buckles. All around, they did a great job with that. You got a little different color, kind of a bronzy type gold over there, which is nice. Again, I'm not a big fan of the cape. It's got the peg, but it sticks on because of the hook here, and it's underneath his collar. So it's really, really strange. I don't even know why it even has a peg. I guess you could pull that off. Man, this is weird. I'm almost scared to pull this off. So he's got the collar, and it's a soft plastic, but it's hard on this side, is it? Feels like it's almost molded in or something, but it's got a peg. And it does stick in much better than Nefaria. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what's up with it. All this stuff is strapped together. It's like tunnel wrap from Classified, but tight, which is what I wanted. It has great functionality because it's tight. So this all just kind of holds together. I'm not going to mess with it, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'm just not going to do it. He's got the flyers there on the forearms. And on the legs, of course, we got our double pinless knees. You guys know the articulation by now. It doesn't have drop-down hips or anything like that, as far as I know, like the Joes. But, you know, leg swivel, boot rocker, all that. Everything is the same, double pinless elbow. So it does have butterfly joints. Let's take a look at the chest. That isn't hair, but it does have some detail on the chest right there. Otherwise, he's fairly simple, but stylish. So it is baseball season, and Whiplash is up to bat with his translucent Whiplash. It doesn't exactly articulate. That would have been just, I don't know, it would have made this guy probably number 1 or number 2 if it completely articulated. But I love this whip. It's one of the best accessories we've got, if not the best accessory we've got. Maybe 1 or 2 in the entire line. But see, it does flex. It does bendy a little bit, but it won't stay. That's the only problem with it. It's like a nice plastic where you can flex and bend and do all kind of stuff, but it won't stay in the articulation. I don't think. You might have to cheat it a lot to get it certain poses or whatever, where you kind of mess around with it, bend things enough, and maybe it'll stay like this, see? But eventually it will straighten back out. Oh, I love this Whiplash. He's so awesome. But you know what? This ranking video taught me something. Don't rank figures by the way they look. By the way Nefaria felt, I gotta go 3 for Nefaria, 4 for Whiplash. But it's close. It's damn close. I'm going to give Whiplash a 4-4.25 out of 5, while Nefaria got 4.25. So there you go. There's a surprise in every video I do. And even Whiplash has perished because he didn't make the top 3 spot. Poor guy. Number 2 is my girl She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. But you can't kill me for not having this figure in hand, because I get a mulligan. Moody, was the first person to review She-Hulk. Yeah, not this She-Hulk, the other She-Hulk. I'm sorry. Amazon delayed this. They said we were getting this first, and then we never got it. And I don't know what happened. I ordered Jen Walters. I ordered this awesome John Byrne She-Hulk from every damn online store across the native lands. And I didn't get anything. She had to bend those knees to get in that blister. She's a big girl, and I can't wait to get my hands all over her. She's essentially a remake of the A-Force box set She-Hulk. That was a Toys R Us exclusive. Now, she could have used an angry sculpt, but I'm excited about that broken gun effect. That's real cool. I don't have her yet. Who cares? Still going to give her 4.5 whiskeys because she's She-Hulk, bro. It's just the way it goes. Number 2, She-Hulk. All right, guys, sitting behind door number 2 this entire time is our number 1 stud. It's an Iron Man list. Of course, we're going to go with Iron Man. But hold up, hold the phone. Maybe the strangest thing about this Tony Stark fig is the fact that all the accessories are in the part that the figure should go into. I'm not sure, but why would you have the figure block the art and then I don't it doesn't matter. We're going to open it anyway. I'm just saying. The real reason this bad boy is number 1 on the list, I scored him for $39.99 on Amazon way later, and he was a PulseCon exclusive, so gotta love that. You might remember this Mark 13, the modular armor from Iron Man 300 back in 1993. Oh yeah, over 31 years ago. But nah, you remember him from Marvel vs. Capcom, don't you? And of course, that deluxe box set, that was $39.99. That's it. I think it retailed like $44.99 or $49.99. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But we got the plasma cannon here. We'll dive into that in a sec. But first, the fig. Red and yellow, red and yellow, red and yellow. Yep. You got double pinless arms. Duh. You do have double pinless knees, and because of the thickness of the padded legs, they don't go up all the way, but that's completely fine. They look good. This guy could have been a Gamerverse, but instead he was thrown in. Like I told you, this series is animated, video games, and comic. You got a 360 tilt on the head. Not that much range. As it comes to articulation, it's one of the weakest figures in the line. Besides, you got a nice ab crunch down there. Goes all the way back. But why do we love this figure? Comes with 3 sets of hands, 3 head sculpts, and 2 amazing blast effects, in addition to that wonderful plasma cannon. Why do we like this guy? The blue eyes. Look how cool that looks. And yes, this guy goes all the way up and all the way down with the articulation. And 360 around. It's not as good as 20, but he does have the ball rocker on the head as well. Next up, he's got the animated look, aka Fabster 360 Live with a fake stash look. And he's got my favorite repulsor blaster hands because they rock back and forth. Thank heavens. And there's plenty in the set, so use them. In case you're wondering, he does come with this giant plasma effect. It will not fit inside the glove, but that's fine. It'll fit somewhere else. Speaking of big blast effects, we got one for the unibeam right here. It goes right across his chest. Man, that one's cool. That's badass. Oh, that's so awesome. All right, so we got the giant plasma cannon from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Just hold down the right and left triggers. Don't let go, and you'll access the special power. I'm kidding, of course. Great game, fun to play. And it's an arcade game anyway. You don't get right and left triggers. Come on, you guys know better than that. I'm sure you just press all the buttons. But yeah, you want to grip it in his hand just like that. You'll hold it like a boombox from Do the Right Thing, and you're all good. Right? We all good? We good. We good in the hood. That's pretty cool. But look, there's a stand. We can make our lives easier. We're just putting this in here, plugging that down. Then you'll really have to articulate Tony. All right, well, there you have it. You have Iron Man 13 with the proton cannon, plasma cannon. Yeah, Tony, I know how you feel. That's how I feel every time I do a review. It's lots of work, lots of editing, but lots of love. And I just realized this, but this gigantic star of energy just fits right on top of the hand. Just take the hand off, and there's so many options with this guy. You gotta dig it. You gotta love it. Iron Man Plasma Cannon, Proton Cannon, number 1 at 4.75 whiskeys. Will he find the demon in the bottle? We'll find out. All right, kids, I hope you dug this retro Iron Man ranking and review, even without She-Hulk. Sorry about that, but I ain't waiting. Full disclosure, I mean, by the time I wait for She-Hulk to arrive, the set will be reviewed to death. It probably already is by the time this goes up. Either way, I had a blast. I hope you did too. Please like and subscribe to A Toy Con and Mood and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the ranking, what your favorite figure is in the entire wave. Let me know what you're picking up, and we'll talk soon. For Trav Moody, I'll catch you guys in the toy aisle. Peace.